Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Live from the Works and to Streaming Wednesdays. I think my camera has turned on low light mode. Hang on. Let me just go into here, turn that off. There we go. I'm not quite so jumpy now. Hello, everybody. I've got COVID again. Boo. Yeah, just in case you thought that little plucky little pandemic was over, it really isn't. 80% increase in reported cases in the last week, apparently. And that's just the people who are bothering to do a test, and then on top of that, those who are actually bothering to log on and report it. Yeah. It's back, baby. Yeah. Keep washing your hands, guys, and wear a mask. Yeah, and if you've got cold symptoms, just do a test, because you're protecting your elderly relatives and friends and colleagues. You know, anyone who might be clinically vulnerable in any way. Yeah, look after them. It's not good. Chat isn't updating. Yes, it is. It just did. Just there it did. Should I update it again? There you go. Sure it's not man flu? No, it's not man flu. I have done a test. Salutations, Matt. Your pandemic has been processed and we have strived for a cure. Outcome. God help you. Excuse me. Yes. No, it's definitely COVID. Done a test. I had a very... Literally, it was one of those where... You know, sometimes when you do the COVID test, it takes a little while for the line to come up and it's quite faint. No, literally, I put the droplet on and the first line that lit up was the positive line, followed by the control line. It's like, ow, balls. Yeah, I got told there were models here. Not those kind of models, sorry. I mean... I can't keep that up. Oh, I am delirious with fatigue and generally feeling rubbish. I have taken 2 paracetamol. I have a vitamin C drink here in highly concentrated form. Not that I can bloody taste anything. That's gone. Am I sure I'm not pregnant somehow? I think I would have noticed. I don't think it's pregnancy. Anyway, I'm away on a 10-week course to become a qualified mainline singer. Oh, that is amazing! Dude! Oh my god, that is so cool. Zach, bro. Boom. Congratulations, that is amazing. Don't send me any delays to investigate. You let those freight trains through, damn it. Oh no, that's amazing. Do you know where you're going to be yet? That is awesome. Oh man, I'm thrilled about that. That is freaking awesome. Well done, dude. Congrats. Yeah, in other news, for those of you who don't know, because Moo the dog asked earlier, yes, I passed. I'm a qualified signaller now. I can do the lever pulling unsupervised. It's all good. So happy with that. That is really good. Yeah, man. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, God, that has made my night, Zach. Oh, that is freaking awesome, dude. Well done. Freaking amazing. I've had COVID 3 times. Luckily, I think I've become resistant from the mutations from an infusion my mother took me for. Oh, the jab. Yes. This new one's weird. It's milder than the one I had last year. It was... Yeah, last year really wiped me out. I've not quite been so wiped out this time, and the sore throat and coughing symptoms haven't been so bad. It's more been like a bad cold. The thing that's hit me is just wave of fatigue. Yeah. This is an evil thing. I don't like. Yeah, not the jab. It was more of a pump. Okay. Fair dues. Right. Yeah. Oh no, that's amazing, Zach. Well done. Congratulations. COVID 3, back at it again. This time it's personal. Yeah. So hello, who have we got in the chat room, by the way? Moo the Dog's here, welcome. Imp344, otherwise known as Zach, is here, hello. DTS Workshops is here, hi. Dalek San is here. And there's 8 of you, apparently. Goodness, it's a record. I should go away more often. No. What was I going to say? Yeah, I wasn't here last week. I went on a training course with work, and it was really good. I enjoyed it immensely. It was basically, we got together with a load of train operators and their planning teams, and we did bits and bobs about what each of us does. So we covered the network rail side of things, which is, the actual planning of the timetable. Then we covered stuff like train diagrams, train unit diagrams and crew diagrams, and planning possessions and all of that good stuff. It was a really cool course, but we were, for the second day, quite heavily discussing train crew, which may have brought up some unresolved feelings and anxieties, for those of you who know. Yeah. So, Mood took a bit of a dive over the weekend. Then I got ill, and my mood didn't really improve. So I'm coasting tonight. That's what's happening. Yeah. Just coasting. Yeah. Basically, I'm exhausted. I'm a bit morose. Yeah. Can I just go to sleep? Would that be... Oh, I better not. That's probably someone's thing. Yeah, better not. Right. Hello, Matt. I'm watching the stream on my Nintendo Switch so I can use my phone for my painting references. Hope you feel better soon. I'll be lurking. Nice to see you, Ace of Riddles. Timetables, you say? We have much to discuss. AKA, send me more trains to Signal. I will send you all of the trains. All of the freight trains. That's my domain now. We send all of the freight trains. No, I don't know. Please enlighten me. I'm not going to do that. I talked about this on Tea Time with Matt. I'm not going to talk about it again. It's, yeah. Yeah. Let's just say I have some very unresolved feelings about the manner in which my career as a guard ended, and leave it at that. Yeah. Here's to taking that unresolved trauma and pushing it deep, deep down inside where the feelings can never, ever get out. And seriously, don't do that. Do as I say, not as I do. It's bad. Talk about your trauma and stuff. Not on the internet. Talk to people you know about it, But let's be sensible about this. But yeah, don't suppress your feelings, people. It's not good for you. Anyway, moving swiftly on. I've been busy with my Source Filmmaker project. A singular cartoon Martian is hard to animate alone. Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah. Well, it's lovely to see you all. There's 11 of you now. Goodness, hello to all 11 of you. Lovely to see you. Tonight, what are we doing? Tonight, we're playing trains, because I got some new trains. I had hoped to have a Rapido train to show you, because their 15XX loco arrived in the country last week, and was posted out to me yesterday through Royal Mail Track 24. Track 48, I should say. So we're a day out. It's going to come tomorrow. That might be next week's stream. We show off the new pretty steam engine. That will be exciting. So yeah, that might be a thing we do next week. And then in October, the Tip and Thunderbolt sets are coming out. So I'm hoping to have one of those to show you soon. But yes. Right, what else is going on? Hello to all 11 of you. Wait, Matt is only one. It's RWS Annie and Clarabelle. I want to ride in that. Right, these are Metropolitan Railway push-pull coaches designed by CDC Designs. These are 3D printed models that have then been hand-painted. They're very pretty, and I love them. And I bought them because I've got a London Transport pannier tank, which I should probably have out for this. Hold on. I've put it on the track ready, but I feel like I should show it off with them. So there we are. That's the L94 London Transport pannier tank. And it just looks right having the Metropolitan Railway rolling stock, and also Rapido are doing the E1 class Metropolitan 1 next year. That's coming soon, so looking forward to that. But in the meantime, this is something for L94 to pull, and possibly my little C class as well. It kind of works with those too. So yes, let's have a closer look at these. Again, these are 3D printed models, so there are one or two imperfections in them, but they are gorgeous. I love these. They're really nice. Nice little bit of detailing there. Yeah, it's. I don't have much to say because I know very little about these type of coaches, other than they are Metropolitan Railway and they're a push-pull set, which is why they've got these windows in the back, so they could be driven from the rear. There's the other one. This is the middle coach of the set. Yeah, they're very pretty. They look quite nice. They're nicely detailed. They're good quality construction. One of the buffers fell off. I think this one fell off in transit. So which is why it's a bit skew whiff, because I've glued it back on. But yeah, apart from that, they came in really good nick, and I'm really pleased with them. They look absolutely stunning. Yeah, these are very cute. So I will I'll put them on the track in a minute, so we can just see them whiz around. But these are really genuinely adorable carriages. I'm thrilled to bits with these. They look just right with this little guy behind them, or pulling them, I should say, behind this little guy. That's what I was trying to say. There we are. And this is my Bachmann L94 London Transport Livery pannier tank, formerly of the Great Western Railway. Yeah, nice engine this. I really like this a lot. Yeah. There we go. Right. Yes, not masses more to say about that. Right. Oh, bloody hell. Moo the dog has donated $4.99 and says, thank you, and says, COVID is lurking, buy a Mars bar. Also, as I paid, can you possibly enlighten me, drink your orange liquid? I will drink my orange liquid if that will make you happy. Thank you very much for your donation. And also says I should give you next week's donation as well. Oh, goodness me. Thank you so much, guys. That's really cool. Dalek San gives $10 and says I'm going to shrink myself and crawl in that 3D printed truck. Guys, whoa. Thank you so much. Oh, that's wicked. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, well, cheers. Congratulations. Why am I saying Shut up, Matthew. No, thank you so much, guys. That's awesome. Thank you. Nice. That's really cool. Thank you, guys. I'm thrilled with that. That's great. Oh, I'm touched now. Oh, excuse me. Dear, oh dear. Shall we get some trains going round? I think we should. So switch over to the close-up camera and start getting these on the railway. So there goes the tank engine. Ooh, a little bit more that way actually. There we go, that's better. Right. Now, I'm not 100% certain what formation these would have run in service, but I've got a formation I'd run them in that I think works quite well and looks the part. So there we are. Do 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 do. There, right. Away we go. Right away, driver. Lovely. Oh dear, excuse me. Here's my ticket to ride, $2. Thank you, darling son. Oh, the train has stopped. Hold on. Let's. There we are. It's okay, I fixed it. Excuse me. We should probably stop donating. You probably should, but thank you. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I'm here now. Where's my carriage? It's there. Just there. What have you done to those trains? Did Derek use a shrink-way? No. These are just the size they were built at. Oh, dear. The Emperor Dalek is here. You're the message I just read, honestly. I'm actually considering buying a sticker from the merch store. I think it would look really cool on my sketchbook cover. Yeah, we have merch now. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can get the store open, so I can show this off. I'm quite pleased with this. Did you not give the driver a clear signal to proceed? I told him it was fine. Excuse me. Right, let's see about getting this open. Hang on. If I stick you up there, hang on a minute, let me just check what the view I'm getting in. No, okay, that needs to go up there. Like that, there we are. Should probably fiddle with my settings here, because I've just realised I've set it up to capture the XSplit display. So yeah, that's helpful. Hold on, right. Let's have a look at the store. Here we go. Here we are. Right. Yes, merch store. Welcome to the Matt Productions merchandise store. There's some tea time with Matt stuff on there at the moment. I tried to do a tea time with Monty thing, but they didn't like that, presumably because it contained a Dalek. So probably not going to be any Dalek merch unless I can find a way around the copyright issue. But there's some tea time with Matt stuff there. We've got a sticker there. There's a kid's t-shirt, an adult's t-shirt, and a mug. And there it says because Dunkers do it best on the back, and has the logo. So yeah, this is indeed a shameless plug. I apologise, but yeah, this is just a little experiment. I don't expect to make massive amounts of money from it. The amount I actually make from any of these is negligible. It's a couple of quid here and there. So yeah, if you fancy supporting the channel and owning some stuff with some of the stuff I make on it, then for real, go ahead. Guys, stop donating! Jesus! So there's $2 more from Dalek San, another 2 lots of $1.99 from Moo the Dog. Oh my goodness. Dear oh dear. Yeah. Thank you guys, but stop, seriously. Oh dear. Yeah, no, let's not upset the estate of Terry Nation. I'm already doing far too much to abuse what could be considered fair use. So let's not go there. But yeah, there's some tea time with that stuff up there. If you fancy having a look at any of that, do. It's yeah, you'll be helping support the channel in a small way. So go check it out. I won't be offended if you don't. 3D print new custom Dalek like character that may or may not be a Dalek. Let's see the copyright nuts argue that one. Yeah, I feel like I can't get away with that. In reality, I feel like that is problematic in itself. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for your continued donations, guys. That's awesome. But seriously, no more. Stop sending me money. I am not worth this. I'm Terry Nation reincarnated. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Thank you, I guess. That's a nice thing to say, I suppose. Right, just drop you back down on the main monitor. There we are. Oh, I'll put a link to the store in the chat, in case anyone wants to go and have a look. I may try and get some other stuff up there at some point, maybe some Life from the Works stuff, and then maybe just channel logo bits as well. Just something you can own a thing with a logo on it. That yeah. I just figured that'd be a nice thing that people might want to have. So Yeah. Anyway, shameless plug over. We're not going to talk about that anymore. Yeah, but thank you so much for your support, guys. You are awesome. Right. Let's look at the train. The train is going quite well. I am pleased with how the train is going. Yeah, nice. Nice. It's just good like that. Peterborough Power Box closed not too long ago with control passing to York. Sad day. Yes, I was aware of that. We all got briefed about it at work because it means that the local operating manager has changed around. So yeah, if the signallers contact us to complain that we've delayed a train by planning it wrong, then there's a different person we need to contact now. So yeah, I know I was aware of that, and that is quite sad. It's yeah, everything is going to go to regional operating centres eventually. So yeah, never mind. Anyway, yes, trains. Trains are exciting. Got some good sleepy tea there. It's good for you. It's keeping me alive. I'm going to be so relaxed and such. It's going to be good. What else can we look at while we're here? I got a new second-hand model that I'd quite like to show off. So let's do that. This is a Bachmann Ivet 2MT tank engine, push-pull tank engine, number 41281. Now it's not the same loco that ran the Newport Pagnell to Wolverton Railway, but it is the same class and very, very similar. So I spotted this on eBay and thought, you know what, I fancy having one of those, because I went for a walk along the old railway track bed with my mum, dad and my son the other day, and felt very nostalgic for a railway that I never knew, because the old stations platforms are all still there, so that's exciting. Yeah. But yeah, so I bought myself one of these. It's very cute, and I like it. I've got a couple of carriages for this as well. I've had these a while. They're quite basic. They're not super well detailed, but they do look the part. They're basically sort of LMS era, but compartment carriages, which look quite nice. Like I say, they're quite basic. They're not super well detailed, but they are the style of coach that would have been used on the Newport Pagnell to Wolverton Railway. So a couple of those, and the Ivet tank engine looks quite nice, I think. Happy with that. Where's Monty with the tea? I do hope the Scratchwood Express has Monty Clone serving tea 24/7. That would make an interesting episode. That would make an interesting episode. I want to do an episode with the guys in the garden playing with the train at some point, and that going badly wrong. But I also don't want to break my train. So... Oh, Hornby's new P2. Yes, that does look nice. How is the Lion? Because obviously Thunderbolt's coming soon. I've got that coming. I'm very excited about it. But I'm told the sort of Liverpool and Manchester Railway livery one is quite nice too. I've seen some reviews online. It looks really nice. I was tempted, but it's not tempted enough. Fortunately, because my wallet is basically empty at the moment. So yeah, I do wish Rapido would stop making locos I want to buy. Their entire business model seems to be, let's make locomotives that have either been at the Nene Valley Railway or that Matthew has driven at some point. So that seems to be their whole thing at the moment. But yes, it's Exciting. Lots going on in the model railway world. It's a gorgeous little locomotive. I bought the 1930s condition version. Nice. Very nice indeed. That's lovely. Yeah, because I've seen a few people compare the Rapido model and the Hornby model. And the only thing that certainly a couple of the reviews I've seen said that the Rapido model was overall better, but that the Hornby one was more detailed. Yeah, I suppose it depends if you care about that sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's about whether or not a loco sort of feels hefty enough. Like this, which is a Bachmann engine. This feels heavy. This isn't going to bounce off the track. This is a nice model, and it's got some nice detailing on it as well. So if you look on the side here, you've got the individual rivets and things, which you wouldn't necessarily get on some locos from this sort of era. Like I say, the second-hand model, it's quite old. I don't know exactly how old, but it's got the old style Bachmann box, and it's looking a bit tatty. So, yeah, that's that gives you a little bit of an idea how old it is. But yeah, the thing I care most about with sort of model trains is that they've got a bit of weight to them, and that they run well, which is why I like Bachmann stuff, because they do run really well out the box, and Rapido do as well. The two little Hunslets I've got are really nice. Matt, are you attracted to trains? No, obviously no. Dear oh dear. No, I like trains. Trains are straightforward, simple. They run. Yeah, there's a reason I think people, and I'm being semi-serious when I say this. I think there is a reason that people with autistic spectrum disorders like trains, and it's because trains run in a very systematic way. Everything is rules and timing and systems, and there's not really any ambiguity on the railway at all. Things work in a certain way, and it's very easy to get your head around. Yeah, I guess that's why people on the autistic spectrum are sort of gravitate towards railways, because they make sense. Yeah. I suspect I've got some manner of autistic spectrum disorder. I was initially told in college by the learning support team that they thought I had Asperger's syndrome. I'm not convinced, to be honest. I remain unconvinced, but I've definitely got dyspraxia, which is tied into autistic spectrum disorders in many ways. Yeah, it explains a lot, yeah, it's... Right. TT Productions released a new audio about the agency doctor meeting a sentient Black 5. I saw that. I might give that a listen. That looks quite interesting. I want to see how that works. That sounds like fun. Drinking tea. Yeah, this is just going to be a nice chill stream where I'm not going to do too much. Just because I'm... yeah, very tired. Very, very tired. Yeah. It's not nice of you all to come along at any rate. Yeah. Excuse me. Shoot some questions at me, team. I feel if the trains are talking to me, should I see a doc? If I feel the trains are talking to me, should I see a doctor? I'm gonna be controversial here. Right? Trains are living things. Put the phone down. Don't call the local psychiatric unit. I'm going to explain. When we talk about trains being a living thing, most people, myself included, don't mean they're literally a sentient object. No, what we mean is they exhibit sort of the classic type of things that you would define to be a living thing. They're very elemental steam trains. You know, it's all about managing things. You know, you manage the coal, the water, their oil, the heat, the fire, the amount of water you're pumping into the boiler at any one time. They're very temperamental machines, and they do have moods. And I know this for a fact because in my Heritage Railway career, I've been either on the footplate or a guard behind the same steam locos multiple times, and they do misbehave for certain drivers. It's there are certain drivers where particular locos at the Nene Valley, they like to misbehave for them. And I don't want to be judgmental about these drivers, because I can't drive a train. I've not had the training. Pun not intended there. I've not had the training to learn how to drive a train. It's a very skilled job, and again, firing a locomotive is a very skilled job. But there are certainly certain crew combinations that the steam engines I have worked behind or on as a cleaner like to misbehave for. They definitely have moods, and they have little personalities. I mean, I know a lot of that is, you know, we see this big elemental object that's, you know, it's hot, it's making lovely noises, and, you know, it smells great, you know, and, you know, there's obviously a lot of love for that machine, and, you know, we're maybe anthropomorphizing the machine a little bit, but I think it's fair to say they have moods and character. You know, one steam engine behaves very differently to another. You know, and I mean that's true of locos of different classes even. You know, you have one austerity, it will behave entirely differently to another austerity. It's, you know, because they obviously, since they've been in preservation, they've all been refurbished differently, they've been overhauled differently, they've been maintained differently, depending on what railway or which owner they've got. So there are subtle differences. So, you know, much like a car that you've had for ages, you learn the loco's personality, and you drive and fire the loco according to what you've learnt about it. You don't get that sort of with the modern electric units, or with the sort of diesel multiple units, or the diesel locomotives. Steam engines are very different. So, yeah, it's, yeah, when we say they're a living thing, it's because it's the closest we've done to making a machine that apes something that's alive. Yeah, it's, I mean, you could say that's true of any machinery, but I think it's definitely true of the steam locomotive, because it's all elemental. Earth, cold, fire, water, air. All of the four sort of elemental things come together, encased in metal, to provide power, to drive a machine. It's a little bit magic. You know, I mean, yeah, no, I know, it's science, it's engineering, and it's brilliant, but it's also magic. I mean, it's especially, you know, if you're a child, you see a steam locomotive for the first time, especially a big steam engine, they are magic. It's just like, wow. No, I don't think there's many people who look at sort of your modern electric multiple units and go, oh, that's magic, that's amazing. I'm sure there are people that are. It's not my thing, personally, but, you know, it's not the same. It's not the same. There's something about a steam locomotive. They're brilliant. Trains rely on respiration, you mean? They kind of do. I'll tell you a story. I was up at the Nene Valley a few weeks ago, I was helping out with a loaded test run for their Danish tank engine number 656. Or that was the plan, at any rate. I'd been sort of drafted in the week before to go and be the actual guard behind it. I'd got there and they said, oh no, we're not doing loaded runs today, we're just doing it light engine. So they just pulled up and down the railway light engine, so I wasn't needed. So I spent the day chilling in the signal box revising. So 656 was in the yard. They had driver and a fireman and the kind of head engineer in the shed, a chap called Nathan now, who had all come in for about 8:30. I'd come in about sort of 8:30, 9 o'clock. Had a wander into the yard, went to meet the guard who'd said, yeah, I'll come for a ride out, it'll be a laugh. So I said, okay, I'll come for a ride out. We went out, went for a ride out. We were planning to go for a ride out. We went and prepped the train, we walked back to the yard. They'd been at this for 2 hours. They put some coal in the firebox and it just was not catching at all. About 1 o'clock, they gave up. The reason they gave up was because they'd put some fire in, they'd thrown bits of wood in to try and encourage the fire to catch, they'd piled coal on it. The coal was the bottom of the pile. They were nearly out, so this was stuff at the bottom of the pile that was a bit dusty because it's been crushed by the weight of the coal that's been sitting on top of it. It had rained quite heavily over the last couple of days, so the coal was damp, and the day was quite warmish but not terribly warm, and the air was very still, so they weren't getting any airflow over the chimney, the smokestack on the front, so that wasn't drawing air through the boiler tubes and giving the fire oxygen. And no matter what they did, they threw wood in there, and that wasn't lighting. They threw that in there, that wasn't lighting. They started getting a tiny bit of pressure on the pressure gauge. It was like literally a few bars, not more than that. And the engine just had sort of gentle hissing noise going on because it was generating steam, just not very much, and certainly not enough to move it. So you could just see this little plume of white grey smoke coming out the chimney, and just hear this sort of gentle noise. But that engine did not want to wake up that day. Just was not happy. Just like, no, not enough air, the coal's damp, it's not warm enough, I'm not having it today. I joked that what they need is, when you've got miniature steam engines, they get a little fan that they pop down the chimney to draw the fire through. I said, what you need is one of those. But yeah, 656 just wasn't having it that day, so about 1 o'clock they said, okay, we're giving up, we're going home. They tried again the next day with the exact same coal, which was slightly damp, a little bit warmer, not massively warmer, tiny bit more wind. Couple of hours, they had steam up, off they went. I don't know what to tell you. These are very temperamental, very elemental machines. You know, I mean, your modern traction, you literally go in, pop a driver's key in, start it up, turn the computers on, off you go. Steam engines, you've really got to sort of coax them into life. You know, it's like, okay, we've lit your fire, make steam. No. Oh, go on. No. Did they try fire lighter blocks? I'm not 100% sure what they tried. They had a load of pallets that they broke up and threw in the firebox, and they caught. Didn't like the coal, but they caught. Yeah, it's been. Yeah, it was just silly. And then the next day they lit it, a couple of hours, off they went. Yeah, just little things. Yeah, very elemental. It has been awful with the heat, hasn't it? Genuinely dreadful. I've not enjoyed the heat at all. I was up at Neen Valley on Saturday. I went up because I had a turn in the evening as a guard. We've got 2999, which is a Saint Lady of Legend. It's the new build that was built in Didcot, finished in 2018, I believe. We've got that at the Neen Valley at the moment. I had a guard turn behind it on a fish and chip train. I went up sort of early to mid afternoon to go and sort of do a fire patrol. I walked from Wansford Station. I was going to go about a mile or so up the line towards Castor Crossing and then maybe a little bit further, just to see if there was any line-side fires or anything occurring, just to make sure everything was fine. There was nothing, fortunately. They had a couple of line-side fires over the course of the day, but they dealt with them quite quickly, and the drivers were all being sensible with the regulator and the cut-off. The issue was, it was so hot, I got about 3/4 of a mile into my walk and sat on the floor and didn't want to stand up again. I found a tree to sit under near Sutton Cross, which is where the railway has their travelling post office apparatus. I just sat there and went, nah, I'm going to have to go back. This is ridiculous. It was just oppressively warm. And I just came over really tired and this heat exhaustion, basically. I've been drinking plenty of water, had loads of water, which was fine. I just couldn't do it. I got there and just went, nah, can't go any further. It's too bloody hot. I did think about this on Monday when I'd had my positive COVID test, because I thought, that might explain it. Yeah, because I didn't feel ill Saturday. I had a tiny bit of a sore throat on Sunday, and then felt dreadful on Monday. But yeah, that might explain that little episode on Saturday. Yes, we'll see. I went scuba diving for my birthday last month. Have you ever done that? No, and I have no wish to. Because if God had meant us to swim in the ocean, he would have given us gills and flippers. No, humans don't belong in the big blue wet thing. You see the sharks and the whales and the fish and the turtles, that's their bit. We don't belong in their bits. Stay out of their bit. The land, that's our bit. The big blue wet thing, that's their bit. They can have their bit. Oh dear. Get well soon, Matt. Thank you. Yes, it's been a weird couple of days. I'm working from home again. Been wrestling with that. The problem is, at work I've got a laptop and 3 screens set up. I've got my laptop and I've plugged one of my monitors into it, so that when I'm working I've got the laptop screen and a single monitor, basically halved the number of screens I have. It is amazing how much slower everything goes. You know, I was doing tasks today that probably would have taken me a morning. It took me all day. And the fact I've been quite fatigued as well. It is not. Yeah, I've not been as productive as I would like. Oh, excuse me. This week, but I'm hoping to get back into the office next week, and life will be easier. Here's hoping. One day you will join us in the sea. I don't see that happening. I'm sorry to say. No. The ocean is for the water wildlife. The land is for the land wildlife. We are very much land wildlife. So. Oh dear. What are your thoughts on Spider Thomas in the Make Stuff chat? I barely get a chance to rummage in the Discord server anymore. I mainly spend my time in there fighting fires at the moment. Yeah, it's been a lot of drama in the server recently, but I think we're on top of the drama now. We have dealt with the problem in the server, and that should be fine now. So yeah, but no, I don't get any time to read really what goes on in there. You know, which is why when there's a problem, I'm reliant on people poking me and going, Matt, I'm telling on so and so. No, it's not like that. Will there be a drug dealing episode where Monty deals an assortment of narcotics and starts an empire? No, that's not going to be a thing. No. I don't feel like this is much of a spoiler, because sod it. The new Cult of Scratchwood episode has been filmed. It's in the edit right now, and it is called Groundhog Day of the Daleks. It's sort of a pun, you see. It's a time loop episode, and that's all I'm going to tell you. Except to say, I thought I was being clever. Oh, I'll do a time loop episode, because then I can just copy and paste most of the stuff and just drop in footage. No, that's not how it's worked at all. This has been a pain in the backside to edit, quite frankly. Yeah, it's yeah. What happened in the server? I'd like to know. If you go on the server, I pinned a message about it. Let's not bring that drama out here. But it is there. Thank you for the donation, Momu. Yeah. So yeah, it's a time loop episode, and it's been quite fiddly to edit. I've got how many pages in my script? Hang on. I need to count the pages without showing you what's on them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 pages done. 9, 10, 8 out of 11 pages are edited and ready to go now. So yeah, it's still a bit to do. And it has been a complex one to edit, and I changed up how I shot it as well. Rather than shooting it on my DSLR camera, I actually shot it on my mobile phone, which shoots in 4K. Imported the 4K footage, and because of the way that the phone encodes the footage, this editing software doesn't quite like it. So what I did was I ran all the files through a piece of software called Handbrake and re-encoded them at 1080p and 25 frames per second, because the phone records them at 30 frames per second-ish. It's not quite 30 frames, it varies depending on, well, I don't know, depending on what. It's not consistent, basically. But so by running it all through Handbrake, it was... yeah, it meant the footage was sort of easy to chop and change, but Premiere Pro doesn't quite like it, so I think I will revert to using DSLR for future videos. But yes, that's yeah. So it's going to be in full HD, and it will look slightly prettier, but it was a pain to edit. So yeah, I'll switch back to the DSLR in future. But yes, Groundhog Day of the Daleks is coming in December, as part of the Dalek December project. There's going to be new Dalek content every weekend in December, and one thing on the anniversary of the Dead Planet broadcast on the 21st of December. So yeah, content every weekend. There's going to be 4 edited videos in total and 2 live streams that are all Dalek related. Yeah, it's exciting. I've got one of the videos edited already. I'm not going to spoil that one. That one's a surprise. There's another one. Matt, not trying to be rude, but don't let your son catch COVID, please. He gave it to me. My son got it first. We think he got it from a mother and baby group. Yeah. He's fine, by the way. He was quite... Annoyingly, we think, was ill right around when we had all that hot weather. So we sort of wrongly assumed he was suffering because he was so hot, when in fact he was hot and having, like, COVID symptoms. Yeah, not nice. He was not having a good time. But he's okay now. He tested negative today and he's much better. So, yeah, all good. Yeah, no. Yeah, I caught it from him. That's, yeah, that was a wake-up call. Just a nice little reminder that this isn't over. And we need to not be blasé about it. Yeah. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so Groundhog Day of the Daleks is coming in December, plus 3 other... let's see. No, do you know what? I'm going to keep them as a surprise. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, this is going to be a secret. But yeah, Groundhog Day of the Daleks will be coming in December, plus 3 other edited videos, which I am quite excited about. One of them is an updated version of something I've done before. One of them is a sequel to something I've done before. And one of them is something a bit out of nowhere. It's very different to anything I've done before. And there's a new Cop Scratchwood episode, i.e. Groundhog Day of the Daleks. Plus there's going to be 2 live streams. One of which is going to be Ask a Dalek. I'm not going to spoil who is doing that. And one of which is... I guess I can tell you that one. I'm going to be doing a script read-through live with the ring modulator of the original script for the Adventures of Derek and Matt, the 4-part kind of prequel series that introduces the cult to Matt, and yeah, we'll be doing a live read through of that. That should be a lot of fun. I'm quite looking forward to that. Yeah, we're gonna have a sit down and have a table read, basically. Bit like a convention. Yes. There's lots to be excited about in December. It does mean that because I'm kind of storing stuff up, content's been a bit sparse this year, and also I have a baby now, so that's the other reason. But I thought, given it's the 60th anniversary and it will be 10 years since I first did Dalek December, which was kind of what took the channel off. I think a lot of people subscribed to the channel because I did Dalek December, and then stuck around for the Cult of Scratchwood sketches and the Adventures of Derek and Matt and so on. Yeah, Chibnall's Night Before. Yeah, that's why I've done it. That's yeah. Yeah, I know Chibnall did a Time Loop episode with Daleks. This is my spin on it, basically. It's I was a little bit inspired by Eve of the Daleks. And slightly inspired as well by Joe Viva's Groundhog Day of the Daleks, which is deeply, deeply funny. But no, this is quite different from those. It is a very silly, very fun little story, which I don't want to spoil. But I think you guys will like it. It is one of the funniest scripts I've ever done. You know it's good when I'm sat recording the Dalek dialogue and having to suppress the giggles because of how daft it is. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited to for you all to see it, but that'll be in December. Excuse me. Good to know he tested negative. Yes, I'm very glad too. I was worried for a bit there. Right. I think we should put another train out. And in fact, I'm going to suggest that what we do is draw this one up the camera and swap it out for... Let's put the C-Class out. I like the C-Class. And I think it works quite well with these coaches. It looks a little bit Bluebell Railway. Here we go. Right. Move the Terrier. Grab you. Bye-bye, L94. Thank you for your time. You can sit there. Oh, got me a little terrier as well. He might work quite well with these, actually. Yeah, let's do that first. Just a little run round with Fulham. There we are. Nice. Just in honour of my Uncle Dave, do just a little run round with Fulham. Nice. Yeah, suits that little loco, these. Yeah, I think these are going to suit a lot of my rolling stock, actually. There we are. Nice. There we go. Cracking. Continuing our Bluebell Railway-ish theme. Here is the Bachmann Metropolitan C-Class number, hang on, 585. That's the one, 585. There we go. Kill them, that's it. There we go. Oh, that looks nice too. Yeah. Yeah, happy with that. That looks good. Oh. Oh yeah, that's nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Any new locos, Matt, apart from the carriages? Not since the last time. Have you seen the two little Hunslick tank engines I've got? Ringhor and Jack's Green. I can't remember if you were around when I showed those off. Excuse me. Have I ever heard of a YouTuber called Terrier55 Stepney? Do you know, that does ring a bell. I can't place them though. I don't think I've ever watched any of their stuff. Don Douglas, that engine looks familiar. Similar. It's a similar sort of design, but not the same one. No, these were made by the South Eastern and Chatham Railway, or for the South Eastern and Chatham Railway. What are your thoughts on the Ratenhill trials? How would you rank the competitors? Not knowing enough about the steam engines of the time, I could only use the ranking that they were given by the original judges, which was which obviously was Stevenson's Rocket was the best of the bunch. Okay, Moot Dog, thanks for coming. Lovely to see you as always. Hope to see you again soon. Yeah, I know that steam locomotives at the period were very, very basic, and Rocket was one of the most advanced things that had been made at that time. So I would like to hope that the judges knew what they were doing. but you know, these things have been consigned to history. So, yeah. Yes, I have seen him. He's the one who does the little stop motion videos, isn't he? Yes, I have seen him. Yes, I have seen his stuff. He's very good. Right, Imp hasn't seen my two Hunslets, so I'm going to get them out for a look. Hold on. Yeah. Lift this up a bit. Raise up. Up in there. Right. And if we flick over to the other camera, these are the two Rapido 16-inch Hunslets. We've got Jack's Green there. These are really beautiful models, superbly detailed. I mean, the cab alone is just a thing of beauty. Hang on, try and get the focus to work here. There we go. I mean, just look at that cab. That is an insane amount of detail. No one needs to put that much effort in, guys. Why have you done that? That's mad. But, yes, that's, there we are. You're gonna focus up a bit there. There we are. There we are. So that one is Jack's Green, and this is its sister loco. That's Ring Haw, which I've driven. I've driven this one. They're not the same engine. They're the same type of engine. They are both examples of the same class, but they are both engines that were built and bought by the quarry at Nassington, and they were all both named after local places, Ring Haw and Jack's Green. Yeah, they are really very, very nice. Ring Haw is preserved on the North Norfolk Railway. And Jack's Green is currently in a static exhibit at the Nene Valley next to the turntable. But they are both lovely models. And they look really nice together. I've taken them to my friend Dick's layout called Merchester before, and I've got some photos of them just pootling around the layout separately, doing shunting things. They look really nice together. I'm very pleased with them. I think they'd look great with your colliery, actually. They're ideal for that sort of thing. Matt's toe reveal. I was wearing socks. Oh, excuse me. That C-Class is lovely, isn't it? I think that's my favourite model I own. It's just lovely. I love it so very, very much. Beautiful model. Deeply love it. There's just something about Edwardian era locomotives that is just deeply, deeply pretty. They knew how to make a pretty steam engine, the Edwardians. It's yeah, just so nice. Very aesthetically pleasing, that. Just finished my tea. That was good. Happy with that. Shall we give the Ivor a little play? I think we should. The other ones to bed. Good night, everybody. Nice. Right. carriages to bed as well. These are beautiful. CDC Designs made these. If you look them up on Facebook, they only, the guy only makes small amounts of these models to order. So yeah, they kind of crop on and off eBay infrequently. So yeah, if you get a chance to get your hands on them, I highly recommend them if the Metropolitan Railway type carriages are your thing, which they are for me. I very much like them. So yeah, well worth a purchase. All right, these two out. This is my Newport Pagnell to Wolverton branch line set. It's not a thing you can buy, I just made it up. But yeah, the Newport Pagnell branch line used rolling stock very much like this. So yeah, same class of loco, same carriages, different numbers. But yeah, I think this looks nice. There we go. Right then. Off we go. Little bit of local history there. I did know that they made an adaptation of The Railway Children at the Bluebell. I enjoyed it immensely. It's a very good film. There's also a roundhouse locomotive engine in it, the little model train that breaks at the beginning, that she takes up onto the steam engine partway through the film, is made by Roundhouse Engineering. It's one of their little KTs, which are very pretty little engines, and I really want one day. But they're slightly cheaper than Silver Lady. I think they're about 1,500 as opposed to £2,000. But what would happen if locomotives collided head first? Well, steam locomotives tended to go bang when that happened. I've never seen a boiler explosion in real life, but I've seen photos. It's not pretty. You don't want that to happen. It's not pretty at all. In America, because they're weird over there and have some very weird ideas about entertainment, they actually used to get locos that were essentially destined for scrap, charge people tickets to come and look at them and then drive them into one another at speed. So people would pay to literally come and watch them crash these locomotives into one another. The Americans are weird, man. I don't understand it. Very odd thing to do. Oh, that looks quite nice, actually. I'm pleased with that. Cute little set. I'm going to see if I can find a video of the Wolverton Newport Pagnell Railway. Here we are. Aha! I found a video. This is from the Huntley Film Archives, is the name of the channel. And yeah, I'm going to show you a clip now of the Newport Pagnell to Wolverton Railway. Here we go. Here we go. Very, very grainy footage. It's from the 1960s, so not surprising. I believe that is Great Linford in the footage there, but as you can see, little I-2 tank engine and 2 compartment carriages there. So not too dissimilar to what I've got running on the floor right now. Such a cute little railway. I'm gutted it closed. No, this is Great Linford. So, yeah, this is Great Linford here, because the ramp up to the road that you could see there is still there. You can still see that. Which means the other one must have been... oh, balls, hang on. I'm going to have to look that up. 1 second. Maps. Yep, there were 4 stations: Wolverton, Newport Pagnell, Great Linford, and there was another one in the middle, and that was, he says, stalling for time, Great Linford, Newport Pagnell, New Bradwell, that was it, New Bradwell. There we are. Oh, the chat's vanished. Oh, well, that's somewhat upsetting. Hold on. The camera's gone skew with. Clayton Ravine, or is that Shonash Ravine? Depends what timeline we're in. Back to the Future 3 crashed a model steam train into a ravine. They did indeed. Referred to as the crash at Crush. Didn't end well, sadly. Yes, they killed some people, didn't they? Again, very weird ideas, the Americans. Very weird. Close that. There we go. Lovely. Oh, excuse me. Let's see if we can find another video here. Oh, there's some colour footage here from the Milton Keynes Citizen. Hold on. Let me see here. Here we are. So pull that up. There's adverts playing at the moment. I won't make you watch those. Hold on. Bloody camera keeps going into low light mode. I don't know why. There we are. That's better. Right. Okay. There we go. Pause that. There we are. If we flick over to desktop mode now and then press play. There we go. Here's some colour footage of the line. This is yeah, here we are. So we're looking at Newport
1964 was a period of many closures. Newport Pagnell, like the Buntingford branch, succumbed that year. 41222 from Bletchley Shed simmers in the station a few weeks before closure.
Such a pretty line.
The branch connected via a triangular junction to the West Coast Main Line, just to the south of Wolverton, and ran a short distance through 2 intermediate stations to a single platform terminus. In its final years of operation, it was worked by Ivet 262s on push-pull sets. In its heyday, it had a daily service of 12 trains each way. By 1960, this had been reduced to 9. The line was opened to passenger traffic in 1863. Earlier schemes had planned a branch beyond Newport Pagnell to link with the Bedford branch at Richmond. Great Linford Station. Note the industrial saddle tanks awaiting scrapping in the yard.
Oh, well, I'm sad now.
Bradwell Station awaits the arrival of a Newport Pagnell bound train about to call.
It's all looking very unloved by this time. Always been morons.
The line retained a daily freight at this stage. This Fairbairn 264 tank was a regular performer based at nearby Bletchley. Closure came on the 7th of September 1964. 30 years later, the former track bed has been largely swallowed up by the new town of Milton Keynes and sees a new life as a footpath and cycleway.
Well, there you go. That's,
Children affected by...
No, go away. We don't want to see the advert, thank you. That's not what we came for. Yeah. Not sure who brought you up, but it's pronounced New Bradle. No W. It's Flitwick all over again. He literally said Bradwell in the film. There was a time in filmmaking they would crash real steam engines as they became obsolete, but when preservation kicked in, they stopped and moved to models. Is saying Z optional in the UK, or is it always Z? Good question. I guess it depends what word you're using. Mind you, in America, you replace a lot of the S's with Z's, don't you? Like, I can't think of any examples right now, but yes. At least it wasn't turned into a road. No, it wasn't quite that bad, so, yeah, still. Do I hate diesel? I don't hate them, I just don't like them. I think we all knew I lived in Milton Keynes already. I don't hate diesel engines, I'm just ambivalent to them. I'm just not terribly keen on them. But yes, I am a Milton Keynesian. I found out the other day that there's another YouTuber, Who Chaser. He is also a Milton Keynesian. I didn't know that until relatively recently. But yes, he is also from Milton Keynes. We have never met. Sadly. Nice. The trains are going to dox you one day. You will never find me. Never. Ugh, flagging a bit now, guys. I'm sorry to say. I may have to wrap this up shortly. Ugh. Bit worn out. Move that out of the way. Yeah, these two are gorgeous. I like these a lot. They're beautiful little models. There we are. Nice. Anyone got any more questions? I'd probably go with what the judges said, which is Rocket was the best because it was the most technological ones. They're really good. Time to say goodbye. I understand that reference. Well done. No, none of you will understand that, but yes. That's understandable. Hope you feel better soon. Thank you. I'm Beoff. See you next time. Thank you, Moo. Nice to see you. Ugh. Anyone got any more questions while we're here? Oh dear. Let's have a little look through the chat there. Oh God, excuse me. Diesel engines tend to have the same enjoyment in life as a steam engine. No, they don't. Because literally you turn up, pop a key in, do some prep, and off you go. Steam engine takes ages. You've got to manage a steam engine. They're fab. I tried putting a link in the chat, but it didn't work. I don't think links work in chat. Unless you're like an admin or the channel owner. But yeah, not sure. Don't know why it didn't work. And, well, no, I know why it didn't work. It's because of that. It's... deep joy. Very deep joy. Never mind. Now stay a little longer. Okay, cool. You do that. Mi casa, si casa. But, like, don't actually come to my house. What inspired you to make videos? Oh, that's a good question. I have always had a fascination with, like, filmmaking and television and stuff. And it was for that reason that I went to college and took a media course. Because I was fascinated by the idea of doing television work. I was always quite creative as a child. I wrote. I devoured books. I was very much into anything creative, and yeah. My dad's just pointed out it's probably his fault, because from like day one, he had a VHS camcorder, and yeah, so I was brought up with, you know, having cameras around for every birthday, Christmas, day out. You know, my dad almost permanently had a camera glued to him. We've got so many sort of family videos, which is wonderful, because it means you can relive so much. But I've always been fascinated by it. And as I grew older, I thought, actually, I want to do this. I want to go and write stuff and make stuff for the telly. So I went and I did a media course at college. I got into university. I went to university to study television production. And on the first day there, they said, right, we've changed how the course is going to work. You're not going to learn everything now. You can either do the production route or you can do the technical route. And I thought, well, I want to write and direct things, so I'd better do the production route. Wrong. Yeah, basically, I learned nothing in those 3 years that I didn't already know. Should have taken the technical route. Didn't get any advice. Basically got handed a piece of paper and told to pick one. Yeah. Not that I'm bitter or anything. But I picked up some of the technical side of things from my fellow students who did do the technical path. And taught myself a lot of stuff as well. Because I knew a lot anyway. Because prior to going to college, I'd made films on my own and edited them. And they were pretty good. Yeah. So that's what got me into it. And then after 3 years of studying television production and having had a little bit of exposure to the industry itself and how it worked, and having spent time with a lot of the people who would go on to be my colleagues if I continued down that path, I decided that I don't want to work in television. I'll let you draw your own conclusions as to why that was. Yeah, so I decided instead that what I was going to do was throw myself heavily into the student radio station. I was offered a job when I graduated at the student union, running a breakfast show for the radio station, kind of taking on some of the management side of things for the radio station. It was basically billed to me as a job for life, and then after a year they went, oops, sorry, no money left, we're going to have to let you go. Yeah, which was gutting, because I thought I did a pretty good job with that, but the management clearly did not agree. So, happens. Yes, you made a film at New Bradwell Station about Milton Keynes. I think I have a link somewhere. Oh! Have you actually got that online somewhere? Because if you have, that would be amazing. I would dearly love to stick that on my YouTube channel at some point. That's I made a documentary called Milton Keynes, The History and Culture of the New City. It was basically talking about a little bit of history of various places in Milton Keynes, lots of different bits and bobs about different locations in Milton Keynes. It was about half an hour long, and I showed that as part of my interview to get into college. And the lecturer who did my interview, lovely chap called Tony, really thought it was quite good. Yeah, it was a good little film. I've got it somewhere. It's probably stuck on a hard drive in the loft, because I don't have it sort of on my main computer anymore. I don't know why. But yeah, I made that, I think, in Windows Movie Maker back in the day. No, tell a lie, it wasn't Windows Movie Maker. What was it edited in? Very basic, free video editing software, whatever it was. Anyway, yeah, I made this very basic thing, and yeah, it's quite good, given I was only about 14 when I made that. It's quite good. But yeah, that was sort of where it went. Anyway, I did my television production course at uni, and I had a YouTube channel already from when I was in college, because YouTube was just getting started when I went to college in 2006. It was just this very new thing, and it wasn't. No one was quite sure how it worked, and sort of the corporate world hadn't got their claws into it yet. It was kind of this little haven for creatives, and then it was bought by Google, and they just slowly squeezed the life out of it. But yeah, I never wanted to be a YouTuber particularly. What was I saying? Yeah, I never particularly wanted to be a YouTuber. It was mainly just somewhere useful to upload college projects. In fact, if you look way back through my video list, there's some very early videos on there that I've made with Daleks and sort of silly little sketches that just comparatively are not very good. They're a bit naff, but charming in their own way, I suppose. And it wasn't really until I left university and moved back in with my parents that I started thinking about making sort of proper sketches all the time. You start seeing, while I'm at university, sort of early Cult of Scratchwood sketches. So, you know, like there's some Christmas messages featuring characters. And little bits and bobs like that, but nothing that's sort of really story based. And then 2013 rolls around, and the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, and I decided I was going to make a video or two videos every weekend in December 2013 to celebrate 50 years of Doctor Who and of the Daleks. And when I did that, bear in mind, I'd started Ask a Dalek by this point, so I'd done a couple of Ask a Dalek videos, and they'd been quite popular. Then I did Dalek December, and I was uploading a video every Saturday and Sunday throughout December. And the channel just sort of exploded from that. People really liked the sketches I was making for those videos. And I suddenly gained a huge influx of subscribers very quickly. I think I made a thank you video at one point. It was either for 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers, which was just an obscene number of people back then. Because there were YouTubers out there who had, sort of tens or hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and I'd just been chilling with 50 or 100 for absolutely ages, and I was fine with that. But then, boom, 1,000 people suddenly following my channel, and then that kept going up. And what am I on now? Hold on. But yeah, did Dalek December, and it was at that point I realised, hang on a minute, I could actually make this a regular thing. So I made The Adventures of Derek and Matt, which was an idea I had toyed with previously at university, which was where the pilot episode, The Eviction Hour, came from. And I decided, do you know, I've made all these sketches with these Daleks that I'd sort of colloquially become known as the Cult of Scratchwood, which was based off of a series of radio... Because Derek originally was a character in a sort of audio sitcom I made with some people back on the UK train sim forwards called Scratchwood, and it was basically set in a railway station called Scratchwood Junction, and Derek was the cleaner. And that's why they're called the Cult of Scratchwood, because it kind of is recycled from that a little bit. 5.78k, nearly 6,000 people. Good God, that's so many people. That is ridiculous. Yeah, that's why they're called the Cult of Scratchwood, because it was recycled from this kind of audio comedy series. And I've made a few sketches featuring them, and I just thought, Joe, I want to do something narrative. So I made the prequel series, the 4-part Adventures of Derek and Matt series, in 2014. And again, people really liked that. And that sort of evolved into the sort of episodic Cult of Scratchwood adventures you all know and love today. And yeah, that's kind of where the YouTube career started. I'm never going to make a living from YouTube at all. It took me 10 years after I got my 1,000 subscribers and was told, hey, you can turn ad revenue sharing on, which I thought, oh, okay, do that. 10 years later, I finally got my first check in the post, in effect, from Google, going, hey, you've earned the £60 required. Like, cool. 60 quid in the bank. I'm happy with that. And that's when I started turning on things like memberships and donations and stuff, just really to help with the costs of making videos and stuff, because you know, batteries aren't cheap anymore, video equipment isn't cheap, you got to manage stuff. So yeah, that's my video career in a nutshell. I started out as a child and I've just not quite been able to let go. And it's you know, originally I wanted to go and write and make comedy for television. You know, I wanted to go write sitcoms and make stuff. It's why I sort of leaned quite heavily onto a show you can't watch on YouTube anymore, because Screw and I both sort of collectively decided that actually we've probably moved on a bit now, and the world has also moved on a bit in the intervening 10 or 13 years since we made this. But we made a web series called The Screw Love Show, where we basically played exaggerated versions of ourselves. And it was genuinely funny. And I genuinely, for a bit, thought that actually we could take this and make something that we could pitch to TV channels. My final major project for university, I had 3 things that I did. Two things rather. I made a sketch show called The Big Society, which you can still watch on this channel. Again, it's a little bit dated, but still funny. It's it's just stupid, but quite clever stupid, I suppose. It's basically a sketch show, and it's a play on, you know, sort of what was going on politically at that time. You know, David Cameron's Big Society, about people helping themselves, and this was basically a window onto the big society of people sort of having to help themselves with stuff. That was sort of the framing device, and then it was sort of 3 unrelated sketches that kind of intertwined with one another a little bit, but yeah, played by 4 really good acting students. Well, 3 acting students and Screw, who was not an acting student, he was an English student. That I made that, which you can watch on the channel now, and I wrote a pilot for a Screw Love Show series. I wrote a pilot script, and a series guide, which is like sort of a rough breakdown of a 6-episode series. So I had the pilot episode, and then I wrote like a synopsis and brief sort of rundown of 6 episodes for the Screw Love Show. And the plot, essentially, of the Screw Love Show was these 2 people who happened to be named Screw and Matt. They're kind of based on us, but they're in many ways they aren't, because their personalities don't entirely match up with ours. But put it this way, my character was a massive womanizer, and cheated on his girlfriend. That was not me at all. I was not a womanizer at uni at all, and still am not. But yeah, the sort of framing device was Screw did a radio show, which was true. We met doing student radio. And Screw and Matt were like co-hosts on the radio show, who just spent most of their time insulting one another and just getting into like increasingly elaborate scrapes. It was very, very silly, and we actually made a short film called The Screw Love Movie, which was like a continuation / finale for the show. Because we did a series, and then I did like 2 videos of a second series, and then it sort of petered out and we didn't do any more. They were on Screw's YouTube channel. You can't watch them anymore. Like I said, they're very dated. The humour is very much of its time, and it's not the kind of thing you want an employer to necessarily see, because it was there was a lot of quite sort of grown-up humour in there, a lot of swearing, a lot of kind of sexual jokes, that sort of thing. It's not suitable for children at all. But genuinely, for a bit there, I thought we had a concept that we could pitch to TV channels, and I wrote a pitch document and a pilot episode script, which I was really, really pleased with. But never did anything with, and probably wouldn't now, because it's I probably wouldn't do anything with it now, because reading back through the script for that, it is very much of its time. It's kind of influenced by shows like Little Britain and Peep Show and that sort of thing. It's the kind of, and the In-Betweeners as well a bit, I suppose. It's the kind of thing that at the time was probably, the humour was a bit more acceptable society-wise than it is now. We didn't deliberately set out to be hurtful or unkind in any way, and in fact, our characters in the show were very much the butt of the joke. The idea was you weren't meant to like these characters, they just weren't very likeable. But as a result of that, reading back through the script I wrote, it just comes across as a bit mean. And I think my humour has changed, and my tastes have changed a lot in sort of the last 10 to 13 years since I wrote that script. I think if I was doing it now, I think the humour would be maybe a little bit gentler, because the point is Screw and Matt were always the butt of the joke, that you weren't meant to sympathise with them at all. You were meant to look at them and go, they are absolute arseholes, but they're arseholes. Kind of Jeremy Clarkson, I suppose. It's like, you're both arseholes, but you are arseholes. You know? Yeah, it's, yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think my sense of humour's changed. I think Screws has to a point as well. I think if we made it now, it would be a very different animal. But yeah, I'm not ashamed of the Screwed Love Show at all. But it's not the kind of thing you show to a potential employer 10 years down the line. And yeah, I'm still proud of the stuff. And in fact, the Screw Love movie, which I've got the poster of up on the wall there, I'm still dead proud of that. I think it's a genuinely brilliant little short film. But as I say, the humour is quite dated, and we throw some references around there that maybe it isn't quite so acceptable now in the climate we live in. But we were the butt of the joke, i.e. the characters of Screw and Matt were the butt of the joke in the show, but the humour and the jokes and the insults they threw around were in themselves quite unkind. The characters were quite unkind to other people, and I think in the context of you're not meant to like these people are not nice, it works. But also maybe unintentionally it was maybe not as kind as it could have been. The idea was that the butt of the jokes was never, anybody in particular other than these two characters. They were the butt of the joke all the time. But we leaned heavily into a lot of stereotypes and, threw around, humour that was quite insulting towards certain groups. And looking back, I don't regret it necessarily, but it wasn't very nice. And, I can see how maybe now that sort of thing, I wouldn't make it in quite the same way. Let's put it that way. It's, I've matured a lot since then, and I think my sense of humour has changed a little bit. So, I'm still really proud of the Screw Love show. It's genuinely funny, and the characters are great. But as I say, it's not something you want a future employer to see, or a current employer even, which is why Screw took it down, because he started working with kids, and there's a lot of adult humour in it. So that's why we've collectively removed it from the internet. But genuinely, I'm still proud of it. Even with the sort of dated humour and the kind of adult humour, I think ultimately it's a web series about two people who you're not meant to sympathise with. You're meant to look at them and go, these guys are arseholes. You're not meant to like them. They're just not very nice people. And they're not very nice people that kind of feed into one another's not being nice to others. I think we touch on this in the movie, that when they're apart from one another, they may be a bit more grown up, and having spent some time apart prior to the Screw Love movie, they come back together and kind of relive the glory days. But by the end of the film, they both sort of realise that actually, do you know what? It's time to grow up. I want a stable life. I want to do better. I want to be a better person. Matt in particular goes through some real character growth there, and Screw is getting married. It's revealed in sort of the final few scenes that he's actually randomly bumped into Matt and has kind of been using hanging out with Matt and reliving those glory days as an excuse to hide away from the fact he's getting married the next day. And then the final scene is Matt drops him off at the church. They say their goodbyes. They have one last really childish exchange. There's a running joke where they both make jokes about their mums, and it's heavily implied that Matt has had a relationship with Screw's mum. But the suspicion is that he has made that up entirely just to get on Screw's nerves. So yeah, the final scene is basically, they kind of settle with it and say, it's time we grew up, we're ready to be adults now. And then the twist at the end is Screw comes running out of the church and announces that he can't marry the woman he's going to marry because she doesn't like... when we were making the web series, in the radio station at uni, there were just these random demo CDs that people would send out to us. And picking one at random off the wall one day, we found this kind of country and western artist called Sable. And then the running joke from that was that Screw became obsessed with Sable. So the final scene in the movie is, having done sort of an impassioned speech to camera, Matt has decided he's now ready to be an adult and grow up and move on with his life and try and be a better person. And then Scrooge comes running out of the church going, "The doesn't like Sable." and Matt goes, "Oh, for fuck's sake." And they both go sprinting up the road together. And it's genuinely funny. I'm still proud of that. And particularly the film. I think the film is a little bit less crass maybe than the original show was. And you know, formatted slightly differently, and that there's a lot of sort of meta humour where we kind of bump into a fan of the show. We talk about the fact that, you know, oh no, we're not going to make any more of the Screw Love show. We've moved on to other projects, man. You know, oh well, what if you did a movie? And then we sort of pointedly look at the camera and go, no, that's a terrible idea. We're not going to do that. It's, you know, it's stupid humour, and I love it, but I'm just mindful that although the characters were the butt of the joke, and the way in which they spoke about themselves and other people was not meant to make them sympathetic, it's not the kind of thing you'd get away with putting on telly today. I think that kind of early 2000s humour that made The Inbetweeners and Peep Show and Little Britain really popular, the world's moved on. You know, you couldn't pitch anything like that today, I don't think. But yeah, it's, you know, which is in some ways sad, but in other ways I do look back at some of the jokes we made and go, oh yeah, do you know what? Actually, that wasn't cool. That wasn't cool at all. You know, even with the, you know, even with the context of, yeah, but you're not supposed to like them. They're not nice people. It's like, yeah, but you can show that without picking on people. And although it wasn't deliberate, I can see, looking back at some of these, that actually, yeah, do you know what? Actually, some of the stuff we were maybe saying isn't okay. But, you know, it's, you know, I'm not going to sit and say, oh, it was a different time, we didn't know any better. It's like, do you know what? Actually, I've grown up a bit since then, and actually, looking back, I think, do you know what? You know, maybe we could have been a bit kinder in the way we did certain things. But it's still something I'm really proud of, and something that was genuinely funny. And it is a big regret that, a little bit like Bottom, I suppose so. It's, yeah, it's kind of, I suppose. The thing is, Screw and Matt in the show were friends, and they ribbed on each other, but to the point where they actually took it way too far. You know, it's, yeah, it's, again, they're not meant to be sympathetic characters. You're not meant to go, oh yeah, I really like Screw, I really like Matt. It's like, no, that's not the point. The point is you're not meant to like them. They're meant to be terrible people, which is why at the end of the movie they kind of go through a bit of a redemption. And the movie ends with us agreeing, you know what, actually it's time to grow up, but then cycle back into our old ways anyway, because I think it was one of those things where we kind of wanted the journey to be, we're acting like children again, because we've not seen one another for ages, so we're giving up on adulthood, we're not going to be sensible, we're just going to do our thing. And the movie is then going through the motions of doing all the old stuff, you know, being violent towards one another, being cruel towards one another, getting involved in a water pistol fight with two people in the park just randomly because we just wanted to throw an action scene in there. And then at the end they kind of go through this kind of emotional journey where Matt kind of admits he's not happy, and Screw admits he's not happy either, and they both need to move on with their lives, and stop being children and start being grown-ups, and then just cycle back at the very end to going, nah, actually we're massive children, or Screw deciding, no, I'm a massive child, and running away from his own wedding for the most petty reason imaginable, and Matt just sort of letting out a big sigh and swearing and just going, okay, yeah, I'm along for the ride too, and that's the end credits. I like to think that Screw and Matt run away and go and start a radio station on an island somewhere out at sea, and become boring, and rather than becoming boring responsible adults, decide they're gonna be a bit more grown up, but they're gonna do it their way. My personal headcanon is after the audience goes home, Screw and Matt run off to an island somewhere and set up a radio station, and become pirate radio DJs, and that's how they live out the rest of their days. That's my personal headcanon anyway. I want them to have a happy ending because, I'm a believer that most people are not beyond redemption. I think most people should be, are capable of change and capable of being better people. And the characters of Screw and Matt were not good people. They were actually quite unpleasant people. And not very nice to each other and not nice to the people around them. Matt cheats on his girlfriend very publicly, breaks her heart. Yeah, and there's a random joke in there that Matt kind of has a gaffer tape fetish, which was Screw's idea. And I still think it's hilarious, but now whenever I see anyone from uni, it's all anyone talks about is gaffer tape. I hate that Screw did this to me, I really do. But yeah, Screw and Matt were not nice people, and the character of Matt in particular was not a nice person. But they were very different in many ways from how me and Screw were in reality. There was a little bit of truth in there. In that we did go around acting like children, and our whole shtick on the radio was acting like children. But there were obviously a lot of things that were hyped up for comedic purposes, and also stuff that was completely made up that we threw in there just to be unkind. The Screw Love Show. You can't watch it anywhere. It's never going to appear on the internet again, but it is something I'm proud of. I have no regrets, but it's not. I have no regrets, but it's not something I would make now. Yeah. We have a £5 donation from Dalek Donald. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Thank you. I've done quite well out of this stream. I'll do these more often. Litter Noir says, Dear Matt, when will the Culture of Scatchwood have an episode? If no, it's because Train streams. If yes, okay. Yes, they are having another episode. We were talking about this earlier. The Culture of Scatchwood are coming back in December. With a brand new video, and there's going to be 3 other edited videos in December as well, and 2 live streams that are all Dalek based. So yeah, don't worry, they are still here. Things have just been a bit light on the Dalek content side because baby. So yeah, that's why. Maybe they could make an off-screen radio cameo in Cult of Scratchers, although the name's changed for obvious reasons. I would love Screw to make a cameo in one of my videos at some point. I might talk to him and see if he's down for that. That'd be amazing. Like Laurel and Hardy? I guess so. I get it. Yeah, kind of. A little bit. Yeah, they were very much a double act, but a double act that weren't very nice to each other, but were still good friends. Yeah. Yeah, but the whole point of the show was they were not very nice people. A video celebrating the 50th anniversary. I'm not going to spoil it. There is a video coming that celebrates the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, but mainly of the Daleks. How are you and how are all your Daleks? I'm good apart from having COVID, and the Daleks, as you can see, all good. Derek's been giving me technical troubles. Yeah. The Daleks are getting a bit worn out. It's kind of worrying, but no, they're all fine. They're doing good. What else? People send the show. You're not talking about Screw Love in real life. Oh no, Screw Love in real life is the nicest guy. I love him to bits. He's my best friend. He can be a bit of an arse sometimes, but he's genuinely the warmest, funniest, most creative guy I know. And he's someone I'm proud to call my friend, and that's why he was best man at my wedding, because he's just genuinely the best person I know. Yeah, he's a lovely guy, Screw, and not entirely unlike his character in the show, but the character in the show is a lot meaner than the real deal. You know, yeah. Screw actually works with disadvantaged kids now, teaching them how to make music and record stuff in the studio. He loves that job. He adores it. You know, it's helping kids from, you know, sort of disadvantaged backgrounds, broken homes, you know, people from low-income families, that sort of thing. He's really passionate about it, and I think that's lovely. He's, yeah, genuinely the warmest, funniest, most brilliant guy I know, and it's why I will continue plugging his music, because I think he's a genius as well. Yeah, I'm genuinely intrigued by all this now. Yeah, it's like I say, it's never going to appear on the internet again because it's very dated humour, and it's childish and very sort of grown up humour, and it's the kind of thing you don't want your boss to see or necessarily want your child to find on the internet. It's yeah, it's no, I'm not ashamed of it, but Screw took it down for a reason, because it was fundamentally incompatible with the work he was doing at that time, which was in a school, and kids were literally finding it online and asking him, oh, the Screw Love Show, I love Screw and Matt in that, oh, they're brilliant, are you going to make more Screw Love Show? And it really wasn't appropriate for kids, and given the relationship he had with these kids, which was like, he wasn't a teacher, but he was sort of effectively a teaching assistant, I suppose, and a student relationship, it wasn't appropriate. So I understand why he took it off, and it's a decision I agree with, because it was genuinely funny, but it wasn't appropriate for school kids to be watching. So we sort of collectively went, nah, it's gone, get rid, fine. It's, yeah. It's yeah, that is the ballad of the Screw Love Show. A thing I am genuinely proud of, and have no regrets about making, but also realise is not necessarily compatible with who I am now, and you know, maybe not quite so appropriate for a modern audience. But yeah, I would dearly love if the opportunity ever arose to have a crack at doing it again. It is sad. I am to a point gutted that we had to take it down, but I understand why, and I totally not only get it, but support it. Because I'm just mindful that back then we really were being stupid children, and you know, we maybe could have done some of the stuff we did in a kinder way, and although we're meant to be the butt of the joke in a lot of these, there were other people and other groups that ended up being the butt of the joke as well, and it wasn't meant unkindly, but I can see how people would take it that way, because a lot of it is just overtly the characters of Screw and Matt saying outrageously horrible things about people, and you know, just unfiltered, saying really dark, horrible, quite nasty things, and just throwing insults around at people's expense. And again, the point is, these are not meant to be nice people. You're not meant to sympathise with them or agree with them. but I'm also aware that that's not necessarily a good excuse. So, yeah, I'm not ashamed we did it. I'm not ashamed of the stuff we made. But looking back on it, I think if I did that now, I wouldn't do it like that necessarily. You know, my humour's changed. I've matured. And, you know, I think if you look at some of my early videos and compare them to the videos I make now, my humour has definitely changed. And I think my writing style has definitely changed. And I think in many ways, I'm better at doing this because of that. I think some of the jokes in my later scripts for the Cult of Scratchwood, for example, are genuinely hilarious. And much funnier than stuff I did in the early days. Because that's how all good artists, and this is going to sound really pretentious, this is how all good artists end up. They develop and learn by doing stuff. And that's what I've always done. I've done stuff, found stuff that works, found stuff that doesn't quite work, thrown out the stuff that doesn't quite work, kept the stuff that does, kept experimenting, and I think I've now got a nice little show in the Cult of Scratchwood with characters that people like, and sort of a scenario that people like, and it's a really interesting kind of toy box almost for me to write comedic scenarios onto. And it's why when someone suggested Body Swap of the Daleks, I immediately leapt at it and went, yes, that would be genuinely hilarious. And it was the next thing I made. Intervention of the Daleks as well. Genuinely hilarious. Silent Night even was kind of written as like a reboot episode, I suppose. Silent Night was kind of meant to reboot the show, because I think by then it had been about 3 years since I'd done a Cult of Scratchwood video. So it's kind of meant to be a good leaping on point. But I guess the sitcom plot of that video is, in the intervening years between the previous episode and this one, COVID happened, Black Lives Matter happened, Trump happened, you know, various things happened that were, I think historically speaking, a really big deal. And it just, the idea that the Daleks have just been asleep for all of this, and missed it, was just genuinely hilarious in my head. Which is why we've got that little scene where Matt kind of shows them a little catch-up clip of everything that's happened, you know, so COVID, Black Lives Matter, anti-vaccine demonstrations, Trump losing the election, the storm on the Capitol building that happened in 2021, Ever Given getting stuck in the Suez Canal, various other things in that little montage, and Matt just going, did any of that have anything to do with you? And them just going, no. It's just, yeah. I just find that genuinely hilarious, and that's what I try and do with all the Cult of Scratchwood videos. I want to tell stories and put the characters in situations that I would find funny. The sort of thing that if I clicked on a YouTube video, basically I strive to make videos that if I just randomly came across them and clicked watch, I'd want to watch more. So I strive to make stuff that's kind of like, oh, that's really funny, I want to see what else this guy's made. So I try and base all of my script ideas on, if I watch this video, would I then click on the channel and go and watch more of this, more of the stuff? And I hope for you guys the answer is yes, because I want to continue making stuff that's funny and engaging. But yeah, I also want to do stupid stuff like this as well, just playing with model trains or playing games and just having a good time. But I also want to keep making Dalek videos. Someone else had a question. The Daleks are worn out. What's the next Cult of Scratchwood? Is no longer alive and the series is cancelled. I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. I'm just mindful that the models are getting old and tired, and I mean Derek is, let's see, 2009 I bought Derek, so that would be 2009, 2019, 2021, 22, 23. He's 14 years old. They're toys. They were never meant to last this long, and they have been in situations that they probably weren't designed to be in, like flooding and being taken outside to film stuff and what have you. Yeah. Dalek Donald, I didn't answer your question. Can I write a song for the next Ask a Dalek? I've been studying the music genre known as rap recently. Absolutely. If you have a song you want us to perform, send it in. I will perform it in the next Ask a Dalek. There will definitely be one in December. There may be one before then. I'm not sure yet. Hope that's okay. Matt, go to sleep. I will in a minute. I got excited about talking about stuff. Anyway, I went off on a massive tangent there, didn't I? Yeah. I wrote a pitch for the Screw Love Show as a TV series. And like I say, the humour is maybe not the sort of thing you'd put on telly anymore. If the chance came up, I would jump on that 100% if Screw was on board and go, yeah, do you know what? Let's revisit this and try and write something that's good for a modern day audience, but that kind of sticks to the principles of the characters, which is you're not supposed to like these guys. They are not nice people, but they're not irredeemable. Because I think that's the fundamental lesson of the Screw Love Show through to the end of the movie, which kind of ties the story up for me. Screw and Matt are not irredeemable. They're not nice people, but they could be. They've got the capacity to change and be better. And we kind of see that happen over the course of the movie, and a little bit over the course of the show as well. Yes, it's... Yeah. I still think there's a good story in there, and if Screw was ever up for pitching it to a TV channel, I would 100% do it. But not in the form I wrote it for university. I would have to go back and strip it out and start again, I think. Because apart from anything else, my humour's changed. I look back at some of the stuff I wrote at university and think, it's just not funny. I don't find that funny anymore. You know, it's not even necessarily that the jokes are insensitive or anything like that. It's just I look and go, it's just not that funny. You know, it's, yeah. Where's the episode where Derek tackles vaping? No idea. Where can we see the movie? You can't. It's, yeah, for reasons I explained before, the movie and the show came off the internet. Because the catalyst for it really was Screw started working in a school, and the kids he taught started finding it and asking him questions about it and saying, I really love Screw, I really love Matt, this is funny. And I think Screw very quickly realised that actually that was not appropriate and we should take them down. And that's why we did. So, yeah. Monty commits genocide. Oh, good God. If Monty committed genocide, it would entirely be by mistake. Monty would commit genocide because he was hunting for somewhere to plug in the kettle and accidentally unplugged the nuclear program and caused Armageddon. That would be the only reason Monty committed genocide. Why is Derek so fat? He used to fit in the palm of your hand when you first made videos with him. None of that is canon. Yeah. Yeah, that's... that's... Yeah. No explanation. Nothing I've made has ever been canonical until recently. They deserved it. They liked coffee. Oh, God. Oh. Dear, oh dear. Right, this has been fun. I'm going to go to bed. I'm worn out. Had enough. But thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this one. I might do another live from the works next week and have have a little review of the Rapido 15XX model, which should be coming tomorrow, hopefully. And when the Tickfield set turns up, we'll do one of that as well. Yeah, so that might be next week, or I might do something else. I haven't decided. I'll work it out. But I am very tired. I'm very ill. You can tell because I've been rambling. Anyway. Thank you very much, guys. Have a fantastic week. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Do come back next time. And yeah. One day we'll meet in person. Take care. Yes, we must. We must do something. Read this. I just did. Right. Good night, everybody. Take care. I'll see you again soon. Haven't updated the closing titles for a while, so I've no idea if the current YouTube members are up to date. If they're not, I apologise. I will be more on top of it for next week. So if your name doesn't appear in the credits and you are currently supporting the channel, thank you very much, and I apologise. Take care, guys. Bye!